Hi, it's a beautiful sunny day, a little on the chilly side, probably about 60 degrees out. I got something in the mail today. A new hitch, because the base model Tacomas do not come with a hitch. So I'm going to put that on, going to do the wiring a little bit later. Didn't realize I could buy OEM replicated one that goes right into the bumper. So, down in there. So that's what I'm gonna do. So this hitch, I believe it's from Kurt, very well made. Comes with this wiring. It's actually got a spring. If you're not familiar with the core, is to get these pieces through this bumper beam and pull them through the correct holes for this part to bolt to. It's pretty clever. I found it easier to fish through the hole before putting anything on it. So then I'll put the piece with the square hole on first. That's what the carriage bolt will go into, so the carriage bolt will go on afterwards, threading onto the spring. Now, the important step with putting these on is to make sure you actually push the bolt through the hole before you fish it through. It's almost impossible to get this to stand up once it's inside this cross member. So if you don't do this first, you're going to be cursing and screaming at this for a while. So make sure you do this, then fish it in. Got the hitch all installed. The instructions said to torque these ones to 110 and the smaller ones to 86 foot-pounds. You can get the back one, probably do the front one with a crow's foot, but I just guesstimated. It'll be fine. 4 out of 6. I'm pretty happy. I'll just wait for the wiring harness and go from there. Alright, I went ahead and pulled out this light. All I gotta do is undo a couple bolts, then just pull straight back from those two spots and it comes out. Make sure you unplug your harness, don't damage anything. Don't scratch your paint if you gotta paint a bumper like I do. I just gotta do the other side. So I personally hate these little plastic covers. I feel like it doesn't let me crimp well, so I usually just melt them a little bit and take them off. I usually have to end up stripping a little bit extra wire on these things. And then, big fan of the heat shrink tube. Too lazy to solder it. Never had issues over the years with my other garbage, so well, if it doesn't break, then why fix it? The nice thing about taking that plastic cover is you can actually see what's going on, and I nicely folded those over each other so it grips a little tighter. Less likely to come off since I'm not soldering it. See, a nice tight heat shrink tube. Shouldn't go anywhere as long as you have your wires properly secured and you have them in your vehicle. Shouldn't have things hanging from them. So like I said, never had any problems doing it this way. People can complain if they want. You can do what you want. It's a free country for now. Now when it comes to these butt connectors, I usually just throw them away. I firmly believe that a mechanical connection is best, so I will actually wrap these two wires against each other, and that way it's almost impossible for them to pull apart once you do the shrink tube. They'd have to somehow unfold past each other for it to even have a chance to lose connection. So the only real risk with this is if you make a loop that has slop in it, then it could have intermittent connection, but just make sure you do it nice and tight. All right, here's the progress so far. Fuse will sit right here. Got it running back behind everything. All protected, goes down to the frame. Basically follows the wire harness. Gets a little bit right there. Goes along there, goes back up to the inside of the frame. There I fished it behind the gas tank and through the frame. I actually used the spring from doing the hitch. This actually worked really nicely. It was the right length. Just wrap the wire through this spring and pull it through. So now I have a constant 12-volt source to go to this converting box, and we're getting there. So I went ahead and drilled a hole. That way I had a nice spot for my ground. Use this little sand paddle wheel, put on the drill, cleaned all the paint off. That way I get a great contact for my ground and don't have, any issues. I'll have to put something there to protect it, probably dielectric grease, but we're working. All right, got the ground in, got the box mounted, gotta get the light back in, get it all plugged, move on to the other side. All right, got everything back together. I'm gonna be kind of lazy. I'm gonna see if I have another one of these plugs. I'm gonna use that factory fitting trailer hitch. I'll just plug it in with this. I'm not gonna have a need for brakes or reverse lights or anything like that. Just wanted to work with my 7-pin on my 3,000-pound trailer. And then I'll just tie that up nice inside, protect it, and it'll be done. I'm gonna use that pre-existing hole for my ground, but my bolt's slightly too big, so to drill it out, I had to drop the spare tire. So I'm gonna go ahead and drill it out now. All right, got it all put together. Don't mind this goofy bar I made for a different truck, just so I could have mud flaps. But turn signal and running lights. Got running lights on this side. Go running, turn signal to the right. Perfect. I'd say job complete. And it looks factory. Excellent. All right, got another upgrade for the truck in that box. I wanted to get this on before Memorial Day weekend, but didn't come in time. Didn't matter, didn't need it, but I'm excited for it. It's gonna make the truck look good. If you guessed roof rails, you have guessed correctly. These are factory style, got them off Amazon. So it should just be a matter of removing the trim strips on the top of the cab, cutting open some holes in the protective tape, clean it all up, and then mount them in. The rubber strips will literally just pull off. The little clip on this end. This is some double-sided tape in the back and in the middle. And these are your pockets where your anchors are for all the roof racks. So I gotta peel off the back portion. These are attached very much the same way. Little clip, double-sided adhesive. Just gotta take this off and clean it really well, because that's where it's gonna have its own adhesive on the back of the roof rack themselves. So the instructions say to cut out the first 4 holes in the front of the truck first, then put these foam washers down. That way you can put the bracket up here, torque it, let it sit for a few minutes, then re-torque it while you're cutting out the next sets of holes. That way you get everything tight, but not too tight. Alright, got both brackets installed, retightening them, and then I'll be moving on to putting on the actual crossbar assembly. Only problem I've really run into, there's paint in the threads. So when I put the other side on, I had a hard time getting these started because the holes didn't quite line up perfectly on top of the paint in them. So I'm just running this through ahead of time to clean it out, and then it maybe won't be so hard when it's misaligned. Just a little tip from me. All right, just like that, we're done. Pretty happy with it. Just gonna do a before and after before I put on my new mirrors. So, the before. Behold, the new mirrors with spot mirrors, aka generic toe mirrors. And there are the new mirrors. Both sides on. That'll help a little bit with the trailer. And then my wheels from my other Tacoma I'm going to put on this one. Sweet.